and I'll be right back.
Okay. Stop my stream. Where? Oh, we already live.
All right, I am back. Give me just a sec, and I'll tell everyone to ready up.
Sure. Hang on. God damn, I hate that. I keep forgetting to mute my microphone. Anyway, my stream's live for the telemetry.
Mine is too. The graphics are outdated, so I'm gonna have to read everything.
I see that. Yeah. Sorry about the music in the background. I can't really mute it.
It's okay.
It's annoying. I'm still figuring that out with Streamlabs. What else do I want to mention? Oh, we're starting? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
The intros. I'm gonna mute for a second, alright?
Yeah.
Because I'll do all the telemetry stuff and then I'll
Hello, everyone. It is Kraz. We are here at the Mexican Grand Prix, and the reason that I am a little hesitant starting it out just is because our graphics have not been updated, and we at LOR apologize for that. Our graphics are all up to date as of last week, instead of this week. So you'll see German GP graphics, and the standings will be as of week 3. So we apologize for that. It should not be like that. We've been having very busy weeks here, even though we're in the middle of the summer now. But anyways, we are here in Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Assist 2 League, and so far Mikau is running away with it at 62 points. I have a message on Steam I need to check really quickly, so the screen's gonna go blank. Okay, Mikau is saying that we're forecasting heavy rain for today's race. That'll certainly be interesting. That'll be 2 races out of 4 in LOR that have had rain. The first being week 2 in Singapore, which is round 1 for Assist 2, since we started a week later than everyone else. We have a couple of newcomers today for new people in this league. Shockwave in the Alfa Romeo will be known as, so far right now, known as Mike on the leaderboards. That's going to change to Shockwave to reflect his in-game name. Dick Tucker has not raced previously. Dick Tucker is in our non-assists Who else is new? I am. Wright Brother is not here. Swifty J also new, not out yet. Yeah, those. I think everyone else we have seen before. So, anyways, we have Shockwave. Pulling out. We have Mike. I'm always confusing the names with Mike and Shockwave. We have Shockwave coming up for this first lap in Mexico, and I apologize if I go between Shockwave and Mike. Since he signed up, and he said that his team name was Mike, but as you now see, it is Shockwave. So I might mix that up a few times. We're gonna see what Shockwave can do here in Mexico at the 17-turn circuit. It's him coming into Esa del Lago. And I am here just by myself right now. The Biggles in race control will be joining me. And I think there's a problem. He's going to slowly... There's full course yellow. A lot of full course yellows in Mexico. So that might just need... He's running at full power. So it might just be me. As Steven actually was the first to set a lap 1:16.651. We've seen a lot of people do better than that, though, in qualifying. As you see, other people cross the line. So I was mistaken in that Mike was first. Cirillo with a 1:16.9. We'll see what Shockwave can do. Coming across the line, it is 1:17. Is third. And Ionide's in second now. And next cross the line, Duck Lovers. Duck Lovers is currently P3 in the championship right now, a reserve driver, but is joined for most of these races. Duck Lovers takes pole position 1:15.0. Right behind him is the Williams, who is on an outlap. Let's see. There's a Ferrari. I believe that's Jetty. Across the line, must have invalidated his lap, or maybe just starting. Pilot Garbage is on a lap. Going a bit slow. But no, that'll actually be P2, original P2. Red Bull across the line. Big Poppy, what can he do? Last place, 1:17.6. Next cross, Mikhail's on an outlap. There's an Alpha. I think they'll be returning to the pits probably. Yeah, that's Steven returning to the pit lane. Haas coming of Cirillo will also probably return to the pit lane. No, Cirillo is going to stay out. Looks like he can improve on his lap. No, still a 1:16.9. And there's the yellow flag as Steven says, as Shockwave has retired, has crashed out in Sector 3 in the stadium section. That was not a good showing from him. Ionides, I'm not sure if he improved, but not in terms of position, but he could have improved in terms of time. I'm not sure if he did or not. Striphium gonna come across the line. That'll be P8. P8 for Striphium. We have not seen him race in this series yet. The Ferraris coming across the line, trying to give each other a little bit of a boost. It's going to work out for Dick Tucker, who goes second place and is now flying past his teammate. So look out for him. We're going to look out for Dick Tucker. Might come out for this next run. Red Bull's also doing a similar thing. One staying out. That is White. No, sorry, that was Big Poppy staying out. Big Poppy cannot improve. Mikow coming across the line. That is pole position. That's what we expect to see from him. 1:14.7, 3/10 ahead the rest of the competition. Sorry, I did not have any detail. Everyone on soft tires. Nobody going on the hards just yet. Hey, you back from pit lane?
Welcome, yes, thank you. I've just returned down from race control, just making sure that everything's good. It's good to see you on board here. Welcome to Mexico. Yeah, as we can see right now, everybody's on the softs. Nobody's taking any gamble right now on the mediums. It looks like that they just want to try to set the fastest lap they can possibly do. We are 11 minutes into this qualifying session. We see Mikhail just set the fastest lap there. That's a 1:14.7, so he's got a little bit more pace, about 300th of a second over Duck Lovers in P2, but they're all still pretty close right now. We're looking at about a 3-second gap from first to 9th position right now as the track starts wearing in a little bit better, a little bit more rubber. Drivers start getting a little bit more familiar with it. The nerves start cooling a little bit. So yeah, this should be an exciting race. This is round 5, I believe. So
yeah, this is week 5 of the round 4 and assist 2 because we started a week later. We did not have enough people for Canada. Most people
so
are
like
on
Solo.
outlaps are coming in or coming into the pits. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Cirillo does seem to Cirillo. It'll be Ken who is the first person on an outlap right now. Has not. See, bottom 3 have not set times yet. Ken won in Germany. He's pretty fast. He first person to beat Mikau in an LOR race, and I did not. I didn't see the NA race. The NA race hasn't been updated in the official standings. I'm gonna ask one of them. I'm gonna ask one of the mods to do that while I'm commentating.
Yeah, Chen won the last race in Germany. He didn't start in either Singapore or Baku, so this will be his second race. So this will be interesting because he's the only driver right now that's taken the win away from Macau, who won the first 2. So this will be interesting. It's going to be. We're going to see a little showdown between Macau and Chen.
Yeah, it could very well be. Was Mikau in that non-assist race?
I'm not looking at the other league racing right now.
That's okay. That's okay. No problem.
Yeah. So I'm on board with Chen. We have the telemetry information up there. So Duck Lovers is sitting in fastest first sector. Oh, he's on outlap. Still. Well, that's his personal best.
Yeah, likes to get his pace in during those outlaps. I say him, we're talking about Duck Lovers. We're on board with Ken right now. Ken is going to come across the line.
He's going to abandon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he abandoned. His second sector was way off the pace. So he decided that's not going to work. Go back, box, get some fresh boots, and try again. Plenty of time still, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Duck Lovers crosses the line. He starting his flying lap now.
Mikau goes out of the way of White, who is on a lap right now. White in the Red Bull has not set a time just yet, but he's confident enough in this lap to come across the line. That'll be P3, 1:15.625, showing why he has confidence to come across the line this time. As Freeware takes P2, 1:14.8, getting on the front row. I believe Cirillo is across the line next. Cirillo cannot improve just yet, as there was a pile of garbage. I don't think he improved. I didn't see anything that indicated to me that he improved. Next across the line should be a Stryfium in the Williams, but he's going to abandon his lap. Next across the line is going to be Swifty. His first lap in this series, it's going to be P5, 1:15.779. Very respectable for its qualifying lap in LOR.
Mercedes looking good right now, P1 and P5. So, and Freeware right up there with a little bit of a banker lap there. Duck has abandoned his lap, so he's boxed. Macau, I believe, is on an out lap, so after him...
It's shown that he's on an out lap for a while.
Okay.
So, I would think he's on a full lap, but it could be wrong as he crosses the line. 1:14.469, he was on a lap, and now he increases his lead to 3.5 tenths.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Chen right now, because he's the last race winner. Yeah. And he has shown a lot of pace.
There's a little bit of a train. There's a little bit of a train behind Dick Tucker right now.
Yeah, I see that. That's because we have
Dick Tucker. Let's pile of garbage by.
I think it's Solo that's like right off the track. To let
everyone can go into the pits. Dick Tucker decides to stay out, even with what happened. I would have just gone straight back to the pits. We'll wait until later. His Steady goes into pits. There's a Red Bull across the line. That'll be Big Poppy starting a lap. Cirillo does another lap but cannot improve on his 1:16.851. This cannot seem to get past that barrier time.
Let's keep an eye. Yeah, exactly. Let's keep an eye on Dick Tucker too. He's the only guy right now that's apart from Jedi, but Jedi's down in 15th. Dick Tucker's in the Ferrari. He's 7th, and he's got the fastest medium tire.
Yeah, but everyone's best lap has been on softs, Tucker and Jetty included. So they're now trying to get fastest laps on the medium tires. What do you think of this strategy, Biggles?
My apologies on that. Actually, my telemetry data was a little off. Yeah. Well, obviously at this point, if I was race engineering my drivers, I would say you got to go for the softs at the start, because unless you can qualify in the top 5 on a medium compound, you've got to just go with the softs and then try a different strategy after perhaps a different safety car, etc. But it's to me, when I'm also race engineering drivers, I always recommend track position is the key, because even if you're fast, you still have to get past cars, and also trying to pass cars on track also increases the risk of potentially crashing out with somebody and losing a front end plate and losing a front wing, and that's your race over at that point. So
yeah, absolutely. The softs, as we've seen, have been very effective in Mexico so far. Next across the line won't be for a while. There's a Williams. That is Henners. We haven't seen much of Henners. 7th place currently in this qualifying, and Henners all the way down in 19th in the standings has just been very unlucky. Has DNF'd for all 3 races so far. Currently P4, 1:14.927, improves 3 places in that lap.
Does a P4, that's right. And you can't write out Henners. Henners is, well, I think Henners is actually quite new to this league.
Yeah, quite new, but also quite fast.
Yeah, he is fast, definitely. And this is the first time I think we've seen him in this assist 2.
No, we've seen him in all 3. Again, he DNF'd out of all 3 races.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Yeah, he's in 19th position right now in the championships. You have to pick up a point. So let's see if he can do something about that today.
Pile of Garbage still can't improve on his 116, although I say that he was on an out lap, but he's going to try to improve on his 116.1. Haas's have been out for a while now. They kind of need to pit now if they're going to do another lap. Cirillo is on it, is able to pit, but Ionides, he's still out. I'm not so sure if Ionides is going to be able to get another quali lap in.
Yep, that's right. Duck Lovers is starting his. Striphium starting his. So Dick, it looks like Dick will be the... No, it says an outlap.
Yeah, it says an outlap for me. So, yeah, sometimes this game is wrong, though. We saw it with Mikow being on an outlap when he wasn't.
On track, I'm saying Dick is starting his sector 3. Pile of Glue, Ionides behind him, Stryphium, Freeware, Duck.
But it gets out of the way for Swifty, currently in P7, as Swifty is going through that stadium section.
We still have a lot of people in the pits. They've obviously decided that's it. They're not going to go out now. It's too late. Don't think you can get a bank around now. There's at least 6 cars in the pits. Some are leaving the pits. Chen's leaving the pits. Is that quite late? Yeah. Can he get it in? Yeah,
maybe.
What's the time? 1:14. It's 1:52, so he'll have to put a lot of pressure on around now if he wants to cross the line and start a banker lap.
Yeah. Swifty can improve on his 1:15. Duck Lovers is able to improve, though. That is on the front row, 1:14.819, exactly the same time as Freeware.
Wow.
So just barely ahead.
Yeah, and in this kind of technical issue, what defines whether or not who would be P2 or P3 if they're the exact same time?
If they're exact same time, I think the only thing I think of right now, Duck Lovers is alphabetically ahead of MRL Freeware, so could be it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll probably think about that later on during the race, perhaps something.
Yeah.
Anyway, as Dick Glover's going to cross the line.
Dick Tucker cannot improve.
Okay.
I don't think anyone crossing the line improves. It could be wrong, though.
I'm looking at the delta times right now in the sectors. Nobody's really improving right now, which is weird because usually the track really rubbers in, especially on these fresh softs.
Yeah. These people on the outlaps will definitely be able to get new times in. You're worried about Ken with him coming out late. He's definitely going to be able to get time in. Freeware, what can Freeware do? Cannot improve on his time. Had one more chance at it.
One more chance. That's right. Mikhail crossing the line now as well. He will get to do another lap. Stryfium and Pilo Glue maybe.
I saw someone improve. I don't know who it was, though.
Now, Duck Lover's coming around the final corner. He's got 10 seconds to cross the line. No, he's boxed. And Hannah won't have enough time. So, the only people now is...
Starting off once again with Dick Tucker. Stryfium is a surprise at P13. Stryfium's usually pretty fast as Dick Tucker loses the back end. At the exit of turn 13 in the stadium section. I'm surprised that he's still headed across the line. Definitely not going to improve, and that will show. Jetty is able to improve. P12, 116.648. Only 3 thousandths ahead of Steven. I almost said his teammate. Those colors.
See what Chen can do. He's in the final corner right now. He's at the fastest second sector, I think. Oh, no, he didn't. And he's going to cross the line. Can he improve?
P2. 114.805. That is 14 thousandths ahead of Duck Lovers.
And everybody else is boxed. Macau did have a fastest second sector, but I think he probably lifted after he realized that Chen did not have the pace to get the P1. So that's it.
Henners is going to be the last person. Henner's going for it. 0 lap old tires. Taps the wall. Cannot improve. And that will be your qualifying. Mikau showing his dominance once again. Pole position for him. Chen in second place. Duck Lovers in P3. Freeware P4. Henners in P5.
Yeah, the top 5 within within half a second of the qualifying pace between P1 and P5. And then you drop back almost a second to go P6 from White, and there's a little close battle there in the midfield between White, Griffey.
Yeah, everyone else is actually pretty close to each other. It's that big gap between the top 5 and the rest of the grid.
Exactly. We're looking at like a little league within a league here right now between the top 5 almost in the similar times, and then you've got 6 down to 10 that are on similar times, and then you've got another category again that goes from 11 down to 15 or 16. Yeah. So we got 3 little mini races that are going to be occurring.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. And we will see you at the race. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mexican Grand Prix. Again, do not have the graphics because they are not up to date. Again, busy week. We apologize. Currently, your standings are as such. Mikau once in the championship lead with 62 points. And this is why everyone decided to go on the soft tires. No one went on the mediums because there's heavy rain in the session. It is raining down hard, everyone on wet tires right now. And we will get to that in just a second. It is Mikau with 62 points in the championship lead. Freeware, the next closest contender, currently second place in the championship with 37 points. Duck Lovers with 30. Chen with 25. And we have the closest battle right now, closest battles, is around the P5 area. Total Wizard is for the first 2 races. Is not here as he's a reserve driver. Racing the first 2 races. Then it's Total Wizard with 20, White with 18, Iron Hammer 16, JJ, who is not here today it seems, with 15, Ezzy 9 with 12, Striphium 11, Julian 11, Adam 10, Pile of Garbage 8, Ionide 6, Stevie 6, Cirillo 4, Big Poppy 4, and Jetty 3. And the rest have 0 points.
Okay, as they're warming up their tires right now on the full wets, so there's going to be aquaplaning, there's going to be carnage. As we kind of predicted early, we have the top two drivers right now, P1 and P2. We have Mikhail, who's won, I believe, 3 races or 2 races, and we have Chen that's won 1.
Two and 1.
2 and 1.
Yep.
So as we kind of predicted, this is going to be a good battle between these 2 guys because we haven't seen them really battle next to each other as they're going to get ready now to form up. It's looking really wet. There's a lot of puddles on track. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be exciting racing. So sit back and relax, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to find the best camera angle to watch this start, not from all the way back there. I'll switch to Ionize later as we start. Okay, here's a good angle. I'm gonna hide the UI for now. As we get set for the start of this race, it's putting me at a bad angle again. I am sorry. There we go. Getting ready. Gotta wait for the cars to move in. Finally, it is lights out here in Mexico. Desiree Chen seems to have a good start, but Mikau surging past the Williams of Henners, trying to get ahead. As we see leaves falling off, and it's so hard. There's already contacts. Henners is spinning around into Duck Lovers. Red Bull parts everywhere. Hassen plates off. It is carnage at turn 1, and Cirillo gets penalties for contact surfing with Henners. And Pile of Garbage surges all the way up into P2 as we have a VSC out.
Absolute carnage. Look at that. You got cars of Chen, you have White.
There should be replay on Biggles' channel. That's what he's commenting on. At least I think there's replay. You don't. I'm sorry. That was last race. I think they tried to implement a replay.
We had Duck Lovers, we had Hannah, we had Big Puppy, we have White, and we have Chen. Chen's obviously the big loser right now because he was in P2. He's dropped all the way back into P7, probably damage as well. There was at least 5 or 6 cars involved in that carnage, as we probably expected in these tricky conditions. So let's see who's going to box right now under the VSC.
Chen is lucky. Chen still seems to have his wing, and the VSC is done. Everyone is back to racing. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong menu there. Just trying to get a good view of these overtakes. Chen going for a move. And there's contact between him and I don't know who that was. Kind of seeing him, the Haas, more contact between Chen and the Haas.
And Pile of Garbage as well has dropped.
Oh, that is not good. What happened to Pile of Garbage?
Some damage there as solo boxes.
A ton of people are boxing.
Yep, 6 cars right now.
Dick Tucker is approaching Swifty, trying to get past. Can't quite do it as Moises Solana. Gonna try and wait. No DRS. So it is going to be harder to get past in the rain as Dick Tucker kind of loses the back end a little on that curb. Timing is...
this is hurting really Pile of Garbage right now. He's at the back behind Duck Lovers. So there's two of the cars.
When there's White battling with Ionides. There's a bit of lag there, so I can't really tell who's ahead. Although it seems to be Ionides as they come up to the hairpin. Ionides goes wide. White takes the inside line, and they're side by side coming into the S's section, although White gets ahead.
Look at these tricky conditions right now. You can see if you're a little bit off the racing line right now, you can see the racing line is a little drier. It's not dry, but it's a little drier than when all those... How wet it is on the outside of that line. So where are you going to overtake? Obviously, if you're going to take a risk and try to overtake, you're going to go into the slippery part of the track and you're going to lose all the traction, as we see on board with Ionides. He's dropped down the Haas and Tapino. Yeah, this is extremely tricky conditions right now. So you have these drivers really have to think about what they're going to do about overtaking.
Yeah. It's not showing timings on my screen. Now it is. Ken is going for a move on Dick Tucker. It's not the best. It's fight for P2. Three-way fight. Dick Tucker, Swifty, and Ken. Side by side, 3 wide. Coming into Moises Solana. Who is going to make it? Swifty J looks like he's beating out Dick Tucker. This contact between Ken and Dick Tucker. Swifty is able to defend P2 for now. And looks like Ken has good P3 secured. Ken trying to attack Swifty. Coming into SA Del Lago. It is going to be side by side. It's going to make a lunge. It's going to come down turn 5. Who's going to be able to have the better exit? And Ken has the better exit, but Swifty should have the inside line. But Ken looks like he'll be able to manage to get it done. And Ken, that is Ken into P2, although they're still fighting. It's still fighting. Yeah, Ken just coming out of nowhere at that big lunge, able to get past Swifty, and now it's Dick Tucker and Swifty battling it out. Just the two of them, and White is approaching the back, and Dick Tucker manages to keep his spot of get the stop P3. Swifty falling from P2 to P4 very quickly there.
Absolutely exciting races. I can't believe these guys were side by side, almost three abreast. And look how wet the conditions are, and somehow...
Ooh, Jetty's making a move on Strippium through the stadium section, and he has P6 secured. What a move from Jetty.
A lot of overtaking. This is exciting racing.
Yeah, overtaking in the rain. You love to see it. And meanwhile, there's more on the back straight between Dick Tucker, Swifty, and White. White catching up to Swifty. I don't think he's going to be able to get there before Moises Solana. No, he's not going to be able to get there. Swifty and Dick Tucker are now the closer to. Although White is lurking behind, being very patient, waiting for his chance. And White's going to go down the inside on Swifty. Will White be able to make it work? They're side by side, although he's going to have to give Swifty the room. Coming into turn 5, a little bit of contact, but not too much. Swifty so far defends P4.
Absolutely, it's close. It's even though there's like 1 or 2 seconds to separate these cars, in these tricky conditions, it's very easy to make a little mistake, exit the corner with a little bit of overspeed and oversteer, and then all of a sudden, you know, you've lost half a second or a second to another driver ahead of you. So here we go. It looks like they're battling again.
Ooh, battling again. Henners went into the pits, probably to replace his wing. And Swifty coming back. But ooh, and Dick Tucker trying to make the switchback work. Side by side coming into 13 in the stadium section. Lots of exciting battling here this race. And Dick Tucker almost takes it back once again. And he will. Just Dick Tucker very good at that stadium section. And now White is trying to find ground. White is now side by side with Swifty. Going down the main straight is the two of them. And now Swifty is eventually forced into a box. But now Swifty going out wide. It is 3 wide coming into Moises Solana. Dick Tucker gives Swifty a little bit of a tap. And Swifty manages to take P3. Just takes the better line. And it's Swifty, Dick Tucker, and White now. This is a fight. And meanwhile, Mikow is doing what we know Mikow for and building those leads. 11 seconds already as Freeware's on the back of Ionides down the main straight, trying to overtake. Ionides weaving a little bit. Just eventually decides to take the left side. Kind of blocked by Shockwave. There might have been a little contact. There's a VSC. I did not know what happened during that VSC.
Pile of glue. He stopped on track at the moment.
Pile of garbage. Stopped on track, and it is DNF for him.
Yep.
As they're starting to go fast again, so I'm guessing that racing is resuming. Although I'm not sure. They were now slowing down for the Delta now. Ionides and Shockwave are very close right now. Ionides clearly trying to get close and trying to get a good restart whenever it happens. Ooh, and Ionides has to swerve out of the way to avoid hitting him. Just the stopping distances in the wet are hard to master.
Yep, as they're starting lap 6. already lap 6. So
Yeah, already.
It's yeah, this is a huge battle right now between.
And racing has started. I'm glad they didn't make contact. And as I say that, there's contact between Ionides and Freeware, although they're still on the track. I think it was just the glitching that put them into the wall for me, because both of their wings are intact. So that was just glitching that put them in the wall. But they are still racing as of right now. And Dick Tucker, very close behind White. Swifty now has a big gap. Must have just gotten a very good restart. White, not so much. Trying to get up. Stryfium catching up to Jetty. Where are they? They are coming into Essa del Lago. Looks like Jetty has the advantage coming into turn 5. Yeah, and Stryfium's just going to have to slot behind Jetty, but Stryfium's made up a lot of positions, kept it very clean so far. As Freeware makes a move on Shockwave, and Freeware now coming after Ionides. This is
Freeware has to try to battle his way back. He's dropped 6 positions.
Oh, he's making up the ground. He's trying to get that Ionides. Ionides just has the better line through the corner.
And Mikkel
Freeware has the pace.
Mikkel's blocked from the lead.
Interesting. Already 7th lap, intermediate tires.
On to the Incas. And Chen is also boxed as well in P2. So
yeah, probably just following him. He's just blocking off his move even with 12 seconds. Mikau now onto the inters, and same with Chen. White pitting, Swifty pitting, everyone pitting for inters.
Dick Tucker stayed out. That should, but Mikau
Dick Tucker's out, Stryfium out, Jetty out. Ooh, and it's about to change, but Freeware has now made the, I was going to say made the move. Now Freeware has made the move on Ionides through the stadium section. Freeware doing a very good job catching up, though. It's going to be 30 seconds between him and White, and after the pit stop, I don't know what that will be.
Freeware boxed. That'll drop him back right now. He's probably going to he's going to be behind.
Oh, and there's fighting between Chen and Steven coming into Essa del Lago. Chen, though, is able to keep ahead. Ooh, and there's contact. Jetty and Stryfium, one of them was sent around. Both of them still have their wings, though.
Look at all these exciting battles on track right now. It's difficult. There's battles in the top 5. There's battles in the midfield. There's battles.
Oh, and Chen now fighting Stryfium, two MRL competitors.
From Jedi.
Ooh, Stryfium runs right into Jetty, and that is his race over.
That's his race over, exactly. He hit him straight, and it wasn't of Stryfium's fault. He just lost control. Jetty lost control, and Stryfium was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and hit him, and that's his race over.
That is always the most annoying way to end a race. As safety car comes out, and now we'll probably see the rest of the field pitting the inters. Now you're looking at these wet tire runners, and with this safety car, now it seems a very smart decision to wait out.
Exactly, and I actually, thankfully, I'm glad that there's a safety car, so it gives us at least a moment to try to regain ourselves and figure out what's going on in this race, because there's so many battles. It's exciting. It's like,
Mexico, all of these races have been so exciting. I want Mexico back on the calendar for season 2.
It's not in the season 2.
No, season 2 we don't know. Season 2 hasn't been decided yet. That's
maybe the audience here. If there's people that are watching this feed, please, give us your vote, give us your opinion. We'd love to hear what your opinions about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go on my phone. I'm gonna get to the LOR stream and see what you guys are typing in the comments. I can't see anything you typed previously, so
I love Ionides. We have a fan of Ionides right now, so thank you.
Nice.
So wonder if we can give Ionides a little fan boost, a little commentating boost, perhaps? Ionides is in P9 in the Haas.
Would be interesting if we could implement a fan boost type system. Would very much enjoy an official Formula E game.
So let's have a look at the tire strategy right now. Now, I need to probably update that. My telemetry
Yeah,
showing.
everyone's still on. Everyone has pinned for the Inters except for Cirillo. Cirillo, so far, sticking it out on the wets.
So usually, right now, I believe in the game they all have, as we've spoken about this before during the broadcast. Everybody who's not familiar with the Formula One game, there is an engineer called Jeff.
Yeah.
He engineers all the drivers on the grid, and he generally gives them over the radio and a general idea of when you should box according to the rain forecast. So I presume in this case, Jeff would be telling everybody at the exact same time that there's heavier rain expected in 5 minutes, or there's light rain expected, and that you should box. So it's then up to the driver whether or not they want to kind of like box a little earlier, or maybe take a gamble on a different strategy. So far, it looks like everybody's listening to Jeff right now. The track looks like it's drying up. They switched from the wets to the inters.
Except for Cirillo, although now he's in the pits. Now Cirillo decides to listen to Jeff. Yeah. Oh, in the chat, we have a fan of Pile of Garbage. He wants Pile of Garbage's car restored. He's repaired once back in the race. Oh, and that's actually one of the other. That's. That's him. It's never mind. I just got trolled.
Yeah, that's okay. Unfortunately, there is no T car, no spare car that they used to have in the leagues. So now the drivers, if you're out, you're out. Even with the virtual, they can't somehow program another car to come and just reappear on the track. So it is unfortunate. It is a wet race, but however, as lap 9, and this is our first full safety car, we still have 14 runners.
Although Swifty in P3 has a penalty for speeding under the safety car. That's 5 seconds. So that's not going to do good for his race, although he has started out fantastically. His very first LOR race in P3.
Good job. So they're still gathering. We still have about half the grid right now, still trying to catch the safety car. Generally, I believe the Codemasters' rule of the safety car resuming is about 95% of the grid have to be behind the safety car before they enter Sector 3. At the moment, they're in Sector 1, and we have about Ionides, P9 just catching the back of the safety car now, so we still have a few cars. If those other cars don't catch the safety car by the end of Sector 2, then we will be looking for another. We'll have another lap under the safety car.
Yep. I'm looking at the chat. Pile of Garbage is saying that his setup was just definitely built for the dry. His setup does not comply with the rain. It's a very hard time.
So really, to summarize, it would be his setup would be garbage.
That's good.
Sorry about that.
I know. No, I like it more than my tone is expressing. But yeah, did not expect the rain, and your setups can very much be compromised in the rain.
Pile of Garbage does have a lot of speed.
Yeah.
So, he finished 6th in the last race in Germany. Okay.
So Duck Lovers 10 seconds for exceeding the track limits. As safety cars coming in this lap, Mickow's going slow, going to go on board with Swifty because usually third place is good to see the launch. Mickow still going slow. He could launch now. There's a bit of distance between him and Chen, and we are going.
Mickow's going out there. He's like got a 2-second lead already.
Yeah, he's very good at those restarts. Everyone now is away as we come to the back of this field. Freeware already going for a move on Steven. Going down, and that'll be Freeware into P6. Very good move as Ionides also, I went to the wrong person. Ionides trying for a move on Jetty. Ionides seems to be a car length ahead, so that'll be him into P8. Oh, and he's also going for a move on Steven, but that was definitely too much of a lunge, although is able to keep P8. Meanwhile, we have Big Poppy Big Poppy fighting with Duck Lovers and Shockwave. Sorry.
A lot of battle back there right now, as you mentioned there. This is all a battle. Oh, somebody's off.
I think that's Big Poppy who's off.
Big Poppy.
5 seconds for corner cutting.
He's gone. He's like a lot of damage right now. He's resuming on the race. Doesn't look like he's got. Actually, doesn't look. He might have saved it out of the wall, but that's dropped him all the way down to the last. As it looks like Ironhide's gone past Steven in P8.
Ooh, and that's Henner's past Steven now. Steven just going very slow right now. And Jetty passed, making full use of the track extensions. Oh, but that's Jetty going slow now. Both of them are getting a very good run. I think that's just what happens when you just use the track too liberally.
That's right. Remember, these guys have just boxed for the Inters. They haven't had many laps yet, like full racing laps. They've had a lot of safety car laps, but they're now getting a feel for the track as it may be trying out. I'm not sure, but they're struggling right now, and there's a lot of moves.
Ooh, Dick Tucker going for a move on Swifty. Currently has P3. Will it remain the same at the end of Moises Solana at the end of these first 3 turns? Swifty gets a much better exit. And White's gonna fall. It's gonna be 3 wide into turn 3, and Freeware comes out of nowhere. Is currently in P5 now. Finds his way into this battle. It's now a 4-way battle for P3. See who's gonna be Freeware is gonna have to stick behind White for now. Is Dick Tucker, Swifty, White, and Freeware in this battle for P3?
Yep, I'm on board with Freeware right now. I can see all the cars up ahead. There's White, Swifty. It's yeah, it's
yeah. Dick Tucker pulling away a little bit. Yeah, it's mainly Swift, White, and Freeware now. Now White currently in P9. Henner's currently fighting with Ionized C5. Has to drop back a little bit through the stadium section. As Mikhail sets the fastest lap, that would be expected. Race-winning driver on new Inters. Ooh, and Henners is coming. Henners is coming for Ionized and already has it through at the end of Perotada. And we're watching, there is so much fighting happening. You love to see it. It is 1, 2, and 2 cars. That's insane coming into Moises Solana. So, there's just so much fighting. And Dick Tucker is in the 14th. What happened to Dick Tucker?
He boxed.
Ah, okay. I didn't know. Did he have damage?
I couldn't quite tell if he did, but obviously he had the boxer early, probably must have had damage.
White had the better line than Swifty. Swifty cut him off a little bit. White coming back now, and that'll be P3 for White. Watching, there's movement behind. I'm trying to see this is a battle for P6 now. Ionides, Henners, and Duck Lovers. So far sticking side by side. Henner's now taking the outside. Coming into the turn, although Ionides is still ahead enough, and there's a bit of contact. Henner's kind of forces his way through into P6. There's still fighting going on as we had White is kind of being bumper cart around. Fighting between White and Freeware now. This is some good fighting as we see Henner's now trying to pass Freeware down the straight. It is still side by side. You can see you could see Henner's end plate there. Sorry, Freeware's end plate there. Henner's kind of being blocked in by White. White kind of swerving. That might not be the best defensive driving. Just picking that one spot and staying with it. Yeah, there's just so much battling going on. Very hard to keep up with everything.
Exactly, there's just so much. I mean, they're also testing the limits of these tracks right now, trying to find out where the driver ahead or behind them are weaker, where they can get a little bit more of an advantage. But as the conditions are also changing, we can see still rain. We don't know if it's getting heavier or not. Track conditions are 24 degrees. Air's cold. It's 19 degrees Celsius. And these guys are still just trying every little bit they can. As Macau still's building a little bit of a lead right now, but as we know, if anything happens right now, there's another safety car. That lead is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. On board with Swifty currently trying to fight White. Sorry about the Steam Alerts. I gotta change that. Steam Alerts. So far, everybody's kind of single file now. That might change going on to the straight.
This is unbelievable.
Ooh, and Freeware making moves. Freeware getting ahead of Swifty. Can Henners profit off of this? Back between Swifty and Freeware. Henners is catching up. Gonna go to the inside of Swifty. Freeware securely into P4. And Swifty will be able... Henners will be able to make the move on Swifty. Henners up into P5. Duck Lover's trying to capitalize now off of Swifty, although falls back at the exit of turn 3. And is not able to close up that gap.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it, right now? We have a huge battle going on. Almost nothing between them, between P1, P1 and P2, Macau and Chow are all by themselves. But then you have this big battle between White, Freeware, Henna, Swifty, Duck Lovers. And then back to a little bit further, you have a big battle between Gentai, Ionides, Solo, and Dick Tucker.
Yeah, it's just kind of at a loss for words. It's battling hard. It can be hard to commentate. Duck Lovers now trying to get back. Swifty does a huge lunge, and Duck Lovers is able to get into P6. What a lunge at the entrance to turn 12.
These conditions are great. I think we need to have a wet race all the time in Mexico because this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get Duck Lover's POV for that incident. Like, I'm currently building the race intro video, and like that would be a great perspective to have. Just a huge lunge. Ooh, and Henners trying to get past Freeware, but Freeware's still in P4. Swifty has fallen from P3 to P7 in this race. Started off well, now just with the inters has kind of lost pace.
Yep, we can see we're on lap 16. Still lots of battles right now. Macau's lead to Chen isn't that much. It's about 5 seconds. But, maybe he's not pushing as much because all these other battles on track behind him right now might easily bring out a safety car. So they're maybe just playing that strategy right now to see what happens. So, but the battle definitely is between P3, P4, P5, P6, P7. It's all there.
Yeah, absolutely. Dick Tucker trying to get close to Cirillo, and Freeware trying to get close to White. Won't happen in turn 12. Not enough room. Going through the stadium section. Henner's doing the smart thing, just waiting back a little bit, although closer than one normally waits behind a battle happening ahead. But just waiting behind for Freeware and White to scrap it out. As you see these three cars coming down the main straightaway. Henners is now going on the outside. I don't know why. This is not close enough to make a move. Maybe just getting out of dirty air.
It does look like the rain is possibly easing. There's still a ton of spray. There's still, you can see off the racing line, it's still wet. But somehow all these guys are still making...
White is glitching out. And White is currently AI.
Oh, I hope that he can get back in the game quickly because that would be disappointing. He's been racing very well right now.
Yeah, and all of these drivers are better than 41 AI.
Only 2 retirements as we're halfway through the race. That's very impressive considering the tricky condition.
Yeah, I am very impressed with all of these drivers right now. Even Big Poppy in last place. Big Poppy is still running.
Yeah, he boxed recently for some fresh boots as we got a yellow.
Yellow in Sector 2 and Sector 3. I think that's a Red Bull.
That's white.
That's White.
That's
I think
white.
regaining control of his car. It's in a bad
I hope
place.
so. Yeah, that might have cost him a few places, but at least if he could still be in the race, that might
Yeah,
be
it went
good.
down from 3rd to 7th.
Yeah, let's hope White can possibly do something about it now that he's taken over control from the computer. The computer didn't do him much justice, but White's a lot quicker than a computer. We know that he's boxing.
Yeah, White is currently 6th in this championship with 18 points.
It's nothing worse than seeing drivers that putting everything they possibly can into racing, great wheel-to-wheel racing, and then all of a sudden you get a disconnection. That's like, it's very disappointing, but like, at least these drivers, they're still passionate, they still want to try and do the absolute best that they can do, even if they had dropped a little bit. So we'll hope that White can do something about it. He's dropped back to 12th, but don't underestimate these drivers, especially in these tricky conditions. Anything can happen. A safety car can easily bunch the whole pack up right now.
Absolutely.
As Mikhail, has still only a 6-second lead, but Mikhail and Chen obviously just having a little race of their own out front, and then there's a 25-second gap all the way back to 3rd place with Freeware. So these P1 and P2 have a pit stop in hand, and probably just feeling the conditions right now, waiting to see if Jeff is going to tell them whether or not the track's going to start dry enough soon for dry tires, but I don't think that will be anytime soon. Maybe another 3, 4, 5 laps from now. Still a lot of spray, but I think the rain stopped.
Yeah, like there's still rain coming down, but definitely not as much as before. Clouds still over the sky.
Yeah, the temperature's increasing a little bit, but we're almost the start.
Ooh, Ionide's making a move on Jetty. Down the main straight. That'll be Ionide's up into P7.
With his teammate behind him.
And there's the Ferraris battling. Dick Tucker managing to get past his teammate without doing a Brazil.
Can he do it and get past Ionides and capitalize in literally a couple of corners and make 2 positions up?
Ooh, shaky defending there. And it's down the inside. And Dick Tucker will make that work. Great move from Dick Tucker. Jetty trying to follow it up. Not having much luck, though.
Yeah, well, that's very impressive for that Ferrari driver there to not only overtake his teammate, but he also overtake Ionides in the Haas. So that's 2 positions gained in a matter of 3 or 4 corners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're on to lap 20. Macau and Chen are in the first sector. As these guys battling it out now, they're still to finish this lap. That's how far the leaders have gained an advantage right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on board at the lap times right now. Let's see what people are doing here. Looks like Freeware's putting in some good times. Yeah, but the leaders are kind of pacing about almost a second quicker than everybody from Freeware down.
Yeah.
Freeware, and this little squabble that we're watching, this little battle on board with these drivers, great battle that we're seeing, obviously, between the time difference behind Freeware with Hannah, Duck Lovers, Swifty, Big Tucker, and so forth. They're all lapping in the 1-minute 29s, low 1-minute 29s, but the leaders are lapping in the 127s and 128s.
Sir is, and we have hearing word from Striffium. He's already uploaded his DNF clip, just in the description says lost focus as I got tapped through the S's and tapped the rear of a spun car ahead to lose my suspension. Upsetting way to go.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
And
as a
like
racing Okay, sorry.
Yeah, other drivers, if the other drivers get a chance, jump on board, watch the broadcast, share in the chat. We will happy to engage with questions and so forth that people have.
Ooh, and White's made a brilliant move on Steven. I only caught the end of that, but using all of the curbs to his advantage.
Yeah, White's on a recovery drive now after that spin.
We're already 21 laps through this race.
Still raining, I think.
Yeah, still raining.
Light rain. It's definitely not time for dry tires yet. Certainly nowhere near getting heavier for wet tires. So this is going to be seeing whether or not it's going to dry enough for somebody to take a risk. Would you take a risk right now if you, say, in a few laps, if you were all the way down the back with kind of nothing to lose?
If I was out of the points, yes. In the points, I'd play it safe. Just get those points, build a championship. Otherwise, if not in the points, I feel like you gotta pit early.
In P12 in the Haas, he boxed. He just recently come out of
yeah,
box.
he had his. I think he had his wing replaced, although I'm not sure. Okay. Oh no, that was another person. That was I think White. Okay. Or Big Poppy, one of the Red Bulls.
Take a gamble, so he still thinks it's obviously still too wet, perhaps, to try to have a little bit of an undercut, shall we say, on a dry tire. But you can see the spray. If you can see the spray from the tires right now, it's got to be definitely too wet to try to take a gamble onto the dries. And believe it or not, this is probably the first time we've actually had a second to think about.
Yeah.
But there's still lots of battles right now. We've got Jetti's half a second away from Ionides, P9. Ionides is P8. They're battling.
Yeah, we're on board with Jetty now, coming down the main straight. Running at the same pace, getting just a little bit closer. And yeah, getting around the back of him now. Yeah, it's just, so far, they're just right behind each other as Ionide's kind of losing the back end. I think a bit later than it actually happened just because of lag.
That's right, we saw a few laps earlier. Dick Tucker managed to get past both of these drivers. So both of Jetti's teammate, Ferrari, and then Ionides in the Haas ahead of him in P8. Dick Tucker's got a little bit of a gap, 2.3 ahead after that overtake a couple of laps ago. Let's see if his teammate Jetti can do the similar thing and get past the Haas driver. But Ionides is very defensive, making it as difficult as possible. As Shockwave boxes, is he going to take a gamble? It looks like he might go back out of it. Well, still too early. Nobody's taking a gamble yet.
Yeah, it's still coming out on inters.
Yep, that's the closest battle on track that I can see right now. Definitely Jetti still.
Ooh, and that was Duck Lovers going past. Almost made contact very, very close. Ooh, and Jetty's making a move on Ionize down the straight. They're flying down there. Jetty's so far having to sit back. And it's just not able to make the move just quite yet. Might try a late dive into Moisa Solana. They're side by side, although... Ooh, and Ionize kind of taps him out a little bit. Yeah. Luckily, there's no one behind him to... If there's someone behind him, probably would crash out.
No, the next driver down the road's White. He's 12
seconds
behind. But that's cost Jetti a lot of time. I did love his nice blue helmet there. It looks great in contrast to the red Ferrari. So good choice, Jetti.
Yeah, I really want honestly, like, I'm not a racing driver. I go to the go-kart place every now and then. Not anymore, obviously, because of the world situation. But I do really want to have a racing helmet.
Yeah, and I enjoy when I'm broadcasting too, seeing the different styles of racing helmets that everybody has, and I'm really looking forward to the 2020 game too, where we'll be able to see the different outfits and so forth.
Yeah, I really hope there's more customization for the now that we have my team in there. I'm really excited. I'll be honest, I wasn't gonna get the new game. But when my team was announced, completely changed my mind. So on board for it.
Okay, so as you're saying that, Dick Tucker has boxed, and guess what?
Oh, medium tires.
Handling mediums. Let's see. I'll keep an eye on his time. So, well, you know what? This is great. We already have a really
White
spicy
also
race
on the
going.
mediums.
Is Jeff telling these drivers right now? If anybody's in the chat, please, if you're listening in, turning the drivers, let us know.
Cirillo decides to stay out. Like, everyone else coming across the line has decided to stay out. Where is Twitch? I have lost Twitch on my phone, so I'm just trying to follow along.
From Secret, and welcome Secret, saying Alex's helmet is in non-assists is OP. Don't at me. The thing is on fire. Thank you, Secret. Look forward to seeing you racing again too, Secret.
Ezzy has said, Ezzy in the chat has said that softs are better than mediums in the wet. So I think Tucker and White, I think I'm hitting onto mediums, that they're just trying to last the whole race.
And Dick Tucker and Solo made a pass past Steven. I'm not sure if Steven made a mistake. Yeah. But let's have a look. Solo's all over the back of Dick Tucker now. Dick Tucker's the one that's on the mediums. Oh yeah, he's sliding past. Yeah. So maybe it's a bad call, but still, you can see it easily within 1 or 2 laps that might change. So Solo will have to build.
Steven though, ooh, that's Dick Tucker spinning.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, might not be the right time. Steven currently an AI car.
We might have to review Jeff's contract, right?
I think we hear that every year though. He always stays. Yeah.
Well, there's still lots of battles.
Yeah.
As Macau now in all this action that's going on, has built another 5-second lead over Chen, because I believe the last time I checked that he had a 6-second lead. Now he's almost 12 seconds over Chen, and so we've been so distracted with these other battles that we haven't really focused on the leaders right now. But they are getting on some pretty worn inters right now. 20 laps on the inters for most of these front-running drivers. Well, I don't know, even with my race engineering, how long these inters can last. There's still, at least we have 11 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed that these drivers have lasted. Ooh, and it's fighting between Ionize and Jetty. Ionize has kind of been everywhere. Jetty has been sticking more to the racing line.
And Duck Lovers is boxed.
Ooh, and Ionize kind of has a little bit of a spin, losing the back end, but Ionize still going, still defending his position. Ionize weaving all over that track. I don't know if Jetty might. Again, I'm not affiliated with the stewards. Oh, and Jetty with a massive dive bomb, but is losing the back end, but so does Ionize. Jetty with that massive dive bomb into P6. Very nice work from him as Duck Lovers and Mikau both decide to go onto the soft tires. Duck Lovers, I'm not surprised that Duck Lovers went onto the softs, just because very used to Duck Lovers making tire strategy risks. But Mikau, I am not used to, and Chen also going onto the softs now.
Yeah, Chen is obviously mirroring everything Mikau is doing. So
yeah, done that all race.
So let's have a look. Duck Lovers was the first to change to the softs.
Ooh,
I think perhaps they're listening to the Twitch stream as well as we had obviously people on the Twitch stream recommending that the softs were better. So thank you for that. Let's see how it works out. Pre-wears box as well. Now, obviously, I still think it's too wet. Look at the spray coming out of the tires.
Yeah, it's definitely still spray. Just people are reacting to each other.
Yeah, maybe Jeff obviously knows more than what we do, but from my point of view here, as we commentate, I think it's still too wet. We'll keep obviously an idea on these lap times as they finish their out laps and start putting in their full laps on these tires. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to switch this race around again as P4 and Ionides is really on the back of the Ferrari again. They're still squabbling right there.
Yeah, Ionides though has lost pace over a second behind now. Everyone at least more than a second behind each other. as the
Yeah, very
fighting has kind of
confusing.
subdued coming into the latter half of this race.
Thank you, Ezzy, for the
Yeah.
update there. Dick stuck to softs.
Yeah.
That's right. He was the first to take the gamble to go to the softs, so I will get his lap time soon, as he is still in sector 2. Telemetry is quite crazy right now. We've got
Yeah.
drivers on 4 different types of compounds right now. We have drivers on softs, inters, and mediums.
Yeah, and there are drivers on wets, but they've DNF'd.
Yeah. Let's have a look. We still have that little squabble. There's still cars as you get into. Where is that?
I'm gonna go on board. Rain no longer falling on this track.
Gentiles boxing. So.
Jetty onto the softs now. Same with Ionides.
Yeah.
And Dick Tucker has retired from this race.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I hope he comes back.
At the exit of turn 3. Yeah, oh, into the wall. Into the wall at the end of at the exit of turn 3. That's not good for Dick Tucker.
Yep.
Had a very up and down race. And I was hoping that he could finally get it back on that right track. And meanwhile, Cirillo has passed his teammate. Cirillo into P8 over his teammate Ionides. Cirillo still on the intermediate tires. And his safety car is out. Yeah, you're just going to say that. I apologize for interrupting.
Maybe it was a little too early to start boxing for these guys. Because Solo looked like he said he's fastest his personal best second sector. So his lap times were good. However, still were getting the lap times still mixed up as people had boxed and stuff. But
yeah, this will bring back the fighting.
Now, are these guys going to change to another strategy?
I'd be surprised. Yeah, the medium runners are changing to soft, so that was only white. I will say. Yeah, this is what we wanted from this race, just because of how much fighting we've had and how much it's been just a joy to watch.
Absolutely, it's a great race, and we still have at least 7 laps to go. Obviously, probably about 5 laps of racing, because they're still pretty spread out right now. We have 4 or 5 cars in sector 2, 3 or 4 cars in sector 1, and about 5 cars in sector 3, and only 3 retirements. Which 2 I think were 2 were actual. Sorry, 2 of them were actual driver errors, and 1 of them I think was a disconnection.
Yeah,
so
and
that's good.
I'm really sorry, guys. I have a big need to use the restroom. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna try and make it quick so that it won't be long.
Not a problem. So we have a commentator's relief rest break. Go ahead. Under the safety car. So let's look at the current. This is going to hurt Macau and Chen, because they had built a nice gap over the rest of the field, and as I kind of predicted, that the safety car would reduce that gap now, so they're going to have to try to do it all over again with 6 laps to go as they cross a line. And we're on lap 30, behind the safety car again for the second time. Macau in the lead. He is changed. He's boxed, obviously, as with Chen and P2 and Freeware and Hannah. Everybody has switched over. The top 7 have switched over to the softs. They're all fresh softs. They will definitely make it to the end, no problems, especially in these cooler conditions and lower fuel loads. Track is 25 degrees. It's increased a little bit. The air temperature still is low, as Solo has decided to go with the Inters, and he is in P8 in the Haas. Still relatively fresh. That will definitely make it to the end of the race. He has his teammate behind him who had boxed Ionides. He is in P9. He's on the softs, so we can see both the cars, both the Haas drivers on different strategies there. Steven in P10. is on the inters, Big Puppy's on the inters, Shockwave's on the inters, and then White in last place right now, and P13 is on the softs, but he is a lap down. No, sorry, yep. Is White. There's a few drivers actually a lap down. But under the safety car conditions, they're still bunching up. I don't believe the safety car will be in this lap. I think it will resume for another lap because we have still some drivers just entering into Sector 2 as most of the field is in Sector 3 right now through the stadium section, trying to get the heat in the tires. You can see right now for the first time that there is no spray. Obviously, they're not at full racing speed, but I think the track is looking pretty dry, and we've seen this obviously in this game. It dries very quickly. Somehow, magically, all the water just disappears from the track. It becomes dry really quickly. There's definitely no spray. There's definitely no rain. It's going to work out for these soft tires. I think now the guys that are on the intermediates are going to really struggle and probably either just defend as much as they possibly can or might have to make another late pit stop. However, that is P8.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay, yep.
And Stevie, I see you in the chat. I totally agree with you. I wish they had a feature like that. It works sometimes, but a lot of times just doesn't work. Hopefully Cody's will improve that with the 2020 game. I have my doubts though. I do really want them to.
So I definitely think the safety car will be in this lap now because they are boxed up. They're entering in Sector 2. There's only one car now in Sector 3. So generally the rule of thumb in this game is 95% of the cars cross the line into Sector 3, then the safety car will be in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be an exciting finish then because it will just be basically a sprint race to the end. This is going to be the chance now for Chen and Freeware and Hannah to all try to just get podium positions.
Yeah, and I'm sure Swifty will want to redeem himself, falling from P3 to P7, coming back to P6, but wants to show the speed that he truly has.
So the safety car, I believe, will be in and
get
ready for
Mika's still
racing.
Going slow. He might be off in the same place as last time. Still slow. Going slow. Still going slow around the curve. So different place than last time. And now everyone is off. Coming down the main straight. Someone's already in the pits, weirdly. That is Steven. That is the AI-controlled car. That makes sense. Everyone still has a bit of a gap to each other, though. Ionide's re-overtaking the spot from his teammate Cirillo. Ionide's in P8 currently. Although Swifty fighting with Duck Lovers. Duck Lovers kind of having to take the long way around. On the outside, Duck Lovers still spinning. No, but it's on track. Sorry, I thought he was spinning more, but he has controlled his car. He's on track. Just a bit of lag. Cirillo trying to re-overtake his teammate, but it's not going to work out. Going back up to Henners. Trying to go around the outside of Jetty, but it's not going to work. Going to have to slot in behind him, going through the hairpin. Ooh, trying to make going down the inside work, but hits Jetty's tire. It's hard to see when you have a ghosted car in your way. But now they're really going to fight through the S's. Jetty has a better turn 9. They're 9 or 10. Yeah, Jetty just having the better exits on the latter half. Though Henry's already right behind him, coming into the stadium section. This is going to be a battle to watch right here.
Yep, here we go right now. As Mikhail says, the fastest lap, but Chen's also very quick right now. He's going to make sure he's going to try to keep him close, but I just did notice that Chen has 3 seconds.
Henner's gaining. Gaining on Jetty. Henner's around the outside. Jetty barely giving him the space. Giving the space a Barbarian now. Giving him, going wide. Giving him more space. Henner's around the outside. That'll be Henner's up into P4 at Moises Solana.
Yep. Now 5 seconds down the
Dude.
road behind P3 Freeware. Now
And
Freeware
Duck
has 6
Lovers.
seconds of penalty.
Sorry, Duck Lovers on Swifty. Coming to Estidolago. That'll be Duck Lovers into P6. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Solo boxed for the softs. Yeah, the inters we knew that weren't going to work. Yeah, anyway, the penalty situation is, so Chen in P2 has 3 seconds of penalties. He is 2 seconds behind Macau, so even if he does get past Macau, he will need to build a 3-second gap, and I don't see that happening anytime soon unless Macau makes a mistake. Even though Chen is probably about to set the fastest lap, as they cross the line now, I think he will get it. Mikhail
Yep,
it, then Chen
that'll be
it.
0.2 of a second faster.
But he still has to. I mean, obviously, it's catching, passing, and a 3-second gap is going to be something. Now, Freeware behind him has 6 seconds of corner cutting penalties. So but Hannah behind him has only 3 seconds.
Oh, and Duck Lovers on Jetty. You can find out now that Jetty's going to stay ahead.
Yeah, Duck Lovers also has 19 seconds penalties, so
yeah,
that's really going to hurt him.
Especially after that safety car. That'll put him down into P8 as of right now.
Yeah, both Macau, surprisingly enough, is no penalties, as well as White. White also has no penalties, but the rest of the drivers do have penalties. Steven, sorry, as well, sorry.
Yeah.
So Steven there in P11, no penalties, good job. That's to me, that's almost, if this game could give an extra point, I would give an extra point to drivers that don't get penalties, because that's, as you know, it's extremely difficult in this game to avoid a penalty. As saying that, Duck Lovers gets another 3-second penalty.
Yeah, and Jetty is past Duck Lovers now, coming into turn 12. Duck Lovers is glitching. One of them is glitching. They're kind of in between each other. I can't tell who the AI car is. Yeah. Jetty, none of them are. So I think it's just glitching into each other.
Yeah, Duck Lovers will drop back a lot, probably into P8, P9 with those penalties.
Yeah.
All the lap times are improving, obviously, from everybody as the track is drying out. Macau now has a 2-second gap. He's he's going faster as well.
Ooh, and Ionize almost hit Swifty coming into turn 1, but is able to avoid it even with lockup. Glad that it didn't result in an incident. That would have been totally Ionize's fault, but safety of the driver is very important. As Chen gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, Chen, yeah, that's cut.
Yeah, that's going to get Nick out of the win. We're on the penultimate lap already. Mikau is going to come across the finish line for one more lap around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
So let's have a look at this. Hannah in P4 is 6 seconds behind Freeware. Now, Freeware has 6 seconds of penalties, but then Hannah's has 3 seconds of penalties himself. So he needs to try to do anything he can to get within 3 seconds of Freeware in P3. Can he do it with 1 lap to go? I don't think it's going to happen, but that's probably the only chance he's going to get on the podium.
Swifty catching Jetty on the straight. I think he's going to have a chance coming into turn 1. He's going to try going down the inside, makes the lunge, and it will work. Swifty into P6 of this race on the final lap. Ionide's trying to follow, but just losing speed out of turn 3. Mikau already in the S's.
Swifty will move up into P5 because Duck Lover's penalty.
Yeah.
So
knocking on the door of a podium in his first race. That'll be very, very impressive for Swifty. As Mikau coming through the stadium section, fireworks and confetti ablaze. Coming through Peraltada for the final time. Around the circuit, Rodriguez, I forgot the name temporarily. Mikau wins in Mexico City. At the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. There we go. Freeware in P3. Henners. What will the situation with penalties be? Henners, that'll be P4. The real question with penalties, though, will be Duck Lovers. Ooh, and Swifty. Swifty lost the back end. Still able to come in 5th. Ionite's crossing the line before Jetty, but Ionite's having more penalties. Jetty is now in P6. Duck Lovers ends up P8. When P10 waiting for Cirillo, Steven, Shockwave, and Big Poppy. It is Mikau who once again wins this race 3 races out of 4 in the Assist 2 series.
Exactly. Can anybody beat him right now? Also with no penalties. And just on top of it, just to kind of a little bit of bragging rights, he sets the fastest lap on the last lap.
Yeah. And that will be it for today's race. And where is it? What's the button? We are at the points. It'll be 10 of them hung in Mexico City, and we are going to head to interviews. I'm going to turn off the Australian national anthem now.
Okay.
As we go, and as we go to the interviews channel now. Where is it? There we go.
I'm here.
Yep. Hello.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that was one hell of a race.
That was the definition of carnage. The whole entire race.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my god. Mick, good job. You didn't get involved in any incidents, or you just had great pace. Oh man. I got front wing damage like 6 times. It's very fun.
Still got second.
Yeah. But if it weren't for that safety car, you would have beat me by like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And we should.
I delivered. I delivered on what I said last week, because
We shouldn't have pitted on softs. The softs are horrible. Why did Jeff told me to pit for reasons
Yeah,
unknown?
the softs were fucking horrible.
I don't know what Jeff was trying to. Jeff was on something extremely strong today. Like, the softs were drifting all over the place, no grip at all, and Jeff was like, "Oh, why don't you pit for them?"
That's what we were mentioning in the commentary, that Jeff's contract might be up for review after some of these bad decisions for his drivers.
No, he's already confirmed in 2020.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh no.
So he's
Somehow
been
Jeff
confirmed for a while.
yeah, maybe Jeff's like a son of some very important person in the league.
Yeah,
that,
just yeah. Apparently, yeah, I've heard of paid drivers. Maybe pay race engineers are a thing.
well, do
If
the
I
interviewers have
hadn't-
any questions they want to ask any of us? Any
yeah.
questions?
Fantastic again to hear my national anthem on the top step. I was disappointed you didn't do a shoey, but I can understand that. This is your third win in a row now?
No.
Not in a row, but third win, yes. You had the
Not in a
P4 in
row.
Germany, so, but still, top step. That must feel good. Do you want to describe your? How would you describe your race?
Um, Fairly clinical. I only made like a few mistakes. Big one was going onto softs, but Jeff gave me the call, and he was saying for the past 3 4 laps that the track was going to be drying any minute. So I thought that was going to be the crossover, but it just didn't dry up in time. I was fortunate that Chen Jie followed me in like a sheep, but
Jeff told me
you know,
to. Okay, it was Jeff.
yeah, I was very fortunate that the rest of the top four decided to switch to softs at the same time that I did. Which
So that's
that
yeah, that's
that
interesting
helped
because
me keep the lead, like keep the gap that I had, and then the safety car came out, and then I knew it'd be a sprint to the end, but gave it all. I have to thank the team. They did a pretty good job, except for that one strategy call. But yeah, just had the pace, especially in the wet. Especially doing that 10 minutes before the session really helped.
you
In the
guys,
wet.
both of you and Chen were in a race of your own. Obviously, you had a pretty commanding. Yeah, both had a pit stop window in hand as back to P3. So I guess your strategy also too was trying to do whatever you can to make sure that Chen does not like kind of overcut or undercut behind you, because he was your main rival during most of the race. Were you obviously also probably expecting another safety car? Did you know that all these battles were going on behind, that the lead that you guys had dominated was going to be obviously cut short, pending there was going to be another safety car?
It certainly didn't leave my mind, but I was really hoping that there wasn't another safety car after I pulled, what was it, 12, 13 seconds back to Chenji
Yeah,
uh, on the inters. So I knew I had pace in the wet and, on the inters. I wasn't so confident in my dry pace, though, because I had decided to run a wet setup for this event because it was, the forecast was rain through the entire race. So I was a bit scared when Jeff was telling me that it was going to dry up. About halfway through the race, he was calling about 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be dry. But no, kept my composure, kept it consistent. I didn't get any warnings until like the final 2 laps. So
Yeah, and obviously the once again that's I think honestly in this game you should also get an extra point if you don't pick up any penalties, because that's something that's amazing for drivers to do, as we all know how difficult it is. But aside from that, you had the pace towards the end, of hence the warnings, because you're pushing as much as possible, and just to put a little nail in the coffin to say, hey, I've won this race. You finished with the fastest lap right towards the end to 1:16.7. So congratulations on picking up the additional point for that.
I got
thank you.
like 4 or 5 warnings just in the last few laps trying to get fastest lap, but I made a few mistakes, and I killed my tires. The few laps before when it was wet because I just drifting, had no grip, and my tires were like 20 something percent at the safety car restart, so they weren't that good. And yeah, before that, Mikau, he pulled out that gap. It was not his pace was really good, but I felt like I could have gone faster too. But I got wing damage from a little collision with Striff when I was stuck in traffic when I pitted for inters, and then Striff was on the wets, and we had a little collision, and I got some damage, which was not fun.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. We weren't unaware of that damage. That so did you repair the damage at all in the box, or you decided just to keep it?
When I boxed for softs, yeah, I fixed the wing,
Oh,
but
so that cost you a little bit more time to Macau then.
yeah,
All right. So
but
yeah,
yeah, it was definitely the wrong call for softs. I don't know what Jeff was thinking.
I was also thinking to ask you, yeah, as well. Like, you knew that Macau was ahead of you, and you were probably trying to ponder what you could do to try to perhaps passing on track with pit stop strategy or something. So do you not decide? You obviously it seemed that you mimicked when Macau boxed, you boxed at the same time. You didn't think about you perhaps you could have stayed out a little longer and maybe try to keep up some pace to do
Yeah,
the overcut or the undercut.
I thought about that, but usually when Jeff tells you to pit, it's time to pit. So that's why I pit. If Jeff didn't tell me to pit and make out pit, I still would have kept going because the track, to be honest, it didn't look that dry. But Jeff told me to pit, and I thought he was right.
Okay, so
So
if you were to reflect on this, you probably like go, well, maybe I should not
I
listen to Jeff next time.
I definitely should have stayed on the inters at least a few more laps because I was like at least 5 seconds a lap slower on the softs.
Yeah,
How
your
about you
last
ask
lap on
Freeware
the
a question? You know, Freeware's here. Why don't you ask Freeware a question?
Yeah.
Not
Oh
no one
yeah.
cares.
If I've got to go, so I've got to end the stream. But like, if you guys want to keep interviewing, it'll be on
Well-
Biggles's channel if that's still going.
No. It's ended. Just quickly
Ah,
then.
that's a
Freeware,
shame.
Can you give us Freeware, can you give us a little quick summary of your race before the stream ends?
Yeah, I got completely shunted into turn 1, where I got
Yeah.
luckily I got away without damage. But then in turn 4, somebody just decided I think it was VSC, just decided to completely overshoot the corner and hit me, and I got front wing damage there. And then I was like, I think a minute behind Mikau until the next safety car came out. Yeah, then it was just a lonely race because, yeah, there was nobody I was fighting with. Just got into some weird traffic during the race, which cost me about, I think, 30 seconds. Yeah, that's it. Finished P3. I'm quite okay.
All right. Well, then, thank you very much, Freeware. That's great. So, back to you, Raz.
Yeah, and that'll be it for today. Thank you all so very much for coming, for racing, and thank you for everyone for watching. And next race is on Saturday. It is Assist 1 in Belgium. It'll be the final race of the F1 2019 half of the season. We will see you then. Goodbye.